Hello, and welcome to the 18th episode in our series, The End of the World as You Know It, a condensed version of end time prophecy. I'm your guest lecturer, Dr. Scott Mackenzie, and today we'll discuss Revelation chapter 18, written by the Apostle John. Now, in our last episode, we discussed 8 world empires. 6 have come and gone, but the 7th will arrive soon, with a man possibly claiming to be the 12th Imam, or as some Shia Muslims call him, the hidden Imam. And with the rise of this man's empire, you have the rise of his religion, Islam. Or maybe it will be the Abrahamic family house religion, combining the Catholic Church with the Islamic faith and Judaism. You can Google this new religion. I did. And so as we consider prophecy in the 70th week of Daniel, the first 3.5 years of that 70th week in Daniel's prophecy, there will be a 7th empire, something akin to the United Nations, which is headquartered in New York City. Yet, the headquarters for the 7th empire's government will not be in New York City. It will be located in the heart of Islam, an Arab city in the Middle East, a place chapters 17 and 18 here in the book of Revelation call Babylon. Is it literally Babylon, or is it symbolically called Babylon? You think back in the book of Genesis class, back in ancient history, back in ancient times, you know that the world was at one time united under one man, Nimrod. He chose Babylon to be the center for his world religion and trade. He was building a tower, hoping to connect earth to heaven, until God put a stop to his new world order and its world religion. Could the 7th empire be history repeating itself? Now, I've mentioned 2 possibilities for the 7th empire's capital: Mecca in Saudi Arabia, or the capital city of the United Arab Emirates, where the Abrahamic family house is located. Remember, in 3.5 years from the beginning of the tribulation, that 70th week of Daniel, this emperor will be assassinated and resurrected by Satan, who places the emperor's image in Israel's new 7th empire temple. Why his image? Why not sit on a throne in the temple, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. Zechariah, the prophet Zechariah, chapter 11, he may give us a clue. Zechariah was told about a false shepherd, which may refer to the Antichrist. He wrote, "Woe to the worthless shepherd who leaves his flock. A sword shall be against his arm and against his right eye. His arm shall completely wither, and his right eye shall be totally blinded." And if I'm right, and this refers to the future leader and his assassination, then when Satan resurrects him, Satan won't want the world to see these deformities, because Satan wants to be presented as perfect. So he creates an image, maybe a 3D hologram in that temple. From there, he demands worship. Through this image, he governs all humanity, at least those in his empire. And now we enter the 8th and that final world empire that will be ruled by men before the return of Jehovah Jesus, the Messiah. And so as you read chapter 18 in the book of Revelation, you have this city symbolically called Babylon, according to my theory, the capital city of the soon-to-be slain emperor, his worship and business center, which is why I believe Islam will be the religion of that seventh world empire, with the religious center for this seventh world empire located in a Sunni Arab city. Now, concerning the destruction of this city, of the seventh empire, the prophet Isaiah, hundreds of years before the apostle John wrote the book of Revelation, prophesied about Babylon's destruction. It's quite interesting. Isaiah wrote, "They will be amazed at one another. Their faces will be like flames. Babylon will be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It will never be inhabited from generation to generation. Wild beasts of the desert will lie there. Their houses will be full of owls. Hyenas will howl in their citadels, and jackals in their pleasant palaces." And so it will be for this once great capital of the 12th Imam. But then an assassination. Then a satanic possession. Then a satanic resurrection. Then Satan demands everyone in the empire worship him as God. This is why, with the death of the Imam, comes the death of Islam. And with the resurrection of the emperor comes the rule of Antichrist. And with the rule of the Antichrist comes the worship of the Antichrist. Class, as you read verses 15 through 24, you will read how companies became wealthy, doing business in the capital of the 12th Imam. Yet now as the city burns, they stand far off in their ships, mourning because they made a lot of money off of promoting Islam and the 12th Imam, not caring his government murdered millions in the empire who refused to submit to the religion of this 12th Imam, the Seventh Empire's emperor, while millions of others were seduced by the Imam's promises of wealth and peace if they would only submit to Islam and follow him. So with the destruction of Islam's capital city, the Antichrist decides to make Jerusalem his capital by setting up his image in the new temple, bringing us to the end of our study today. And yet remember, class, remember what Jesus said. Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. And so, until next time, my friends, farewell.